Let us chant from verses 21 to 30 of chapter 9. Tetam bhukva swargalokam vishalam Kshine punye matyalokam vishanti Evam trayi dharmam anuprapannaha Gata gatam kama kama labhante Ananyāścintayanto ma Ye jana patyupasate Tesham nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam vahamyaham Yepyanyadevata bhaktaha Yajante shraddhayanvitaha Epi mameva kaunteya Yajantya vidhipurvakam Aham hi sarvayajnanam Bhokta cha prabhureva cha Natu mam abhijananti Tatte nataschavanti te Yanti deva vrita devan Pitran yanti pitravrataha Bhutani yanti bhutejyaha Yanti madhyajinopi mam Patram pushpam phalam toyam Yo me bhaktya prayachati Tadaham bhaktyupahritam Ashnami prayatatmanaha Yat karoshi yadashnasi Yad juhoshi dadasi yad Yat tapasyasi kaunteya Tat kurushva madharpanam Shubha shubha phalairevam Mokshyase karma bandhanaihi Sannyasa yoga yuktatma Vimukto mamupaishyasi Samoham sarva bhuteshu Na me dveshosti na priyaha Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya Mahite teshu chapyaham Abhichetsu duracharaha Bhajate mamananyabha Sadhurepa samantavyaha Samyak vyapasito hi saha
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavakai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavakai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The verse we studied last week. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham vidyabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Whoever is focused on me, thinking about me with ananya chinta, I grant them yoga and I grant them kshema. I give them yoga and I give them kshema. Yoga and kshema is everything is safe. Yoga means what you want to get. So one approach is you want to get something. Kshema is all that you got is safe. That is the word yoga and kshema means. So if you see, in the olden days when they write a letter, they will start writing the word called kshema in the beginning. The very word kshema indicates that it's a good letter. If the word kshema is missing, you know it's not a good, the contents of the letter is not good. It means something is lost. Somebody is dead or something is lost. Kshema is gone. So what is this yoga and kshema? Getting what you don't have and protecting what you already have. With these two, a person believes that life will be comfortable. So yoga and kshema is for what? Is for a comfortable life. Generally for yoga and kshema, what people do? People use a number of forces. One's own powers, knowledge, skill, the resources that you have at your command, all that you use. Again, I repeat, generally for your yoga and kshema, what do you do? What does everybody do? Nobody do ananya chinta for yoga and kshema. Generally, what does people do for yoga and kshema? They use a number of factors, a number of forces they use. What are the number of factors? What are the number of forces they use? One's own powers, knowledge, skill, the resources they have at their, the material resources, the human resources, whatever be it, all put together they use, making sure that they get something and they protect whatever they get. Whatever they have, this is what a person does it. After a period of time, a human being realizes often this is not enough. Often this is not enough. After a long time, they realize this. What? This is not enough. My skills, my planning, my thing, what all I have, what all I do today, what all everybody does today, often they realize that it is not enough. Then God comes into the picture. Then only God comes into play. Because the ego believes that it can do everything by itself. It doesn't need any other. Okay. It needs support in the sense of what? I can do everything. All that I need is little bit here, little bit there. That's all. But I can do things by myself. The ego believes in that. And then it tries everything. And then it realizes that neither yoga is happening nor kshema is happening. Then what the ego does? It starts invoking God. That's how it grows. It starts invoking God. And by the time you start invoking God, what will happen? You are so worried about that yoga and kshema, God also you will start using for yoga and kshema. God also will be used only for your yoga and kshema. Yoga and kshema means a better life, a better worldly, material, peaceful life. Worldly life means what? A life of materiality and mental peace. When we say life, better life, successful life means what? I don't have to worry about my finances. I don't have to worry about losing my mental peace. So if my finances are safer, secure, and my peace is taken care of, that is called yoga and kshema. That's all, isn't it? What else a person understands yoga and kshema? Finances are secure, taken care of, and more or less you are mentally also not too agitated, disturbed. It means you have attained yoga and kshema. A person is so involved in this yoga and kshema, what do they start doing? They start seeking, they start invoking God also for this yoga and kshema, isn't it? Throughout the year, the student will not visit the temple. 2 weeks before the examination comes, morning and evening, they start going round and round and round, isn't it? And gods also have specializations. Each and every god will make you pass in one speciality, isn't it? If you want to pass engineering, you have to go to one God. If you want to pass chartered accountancy, you have to go to where? That Anjaneya here is called C. Anjaneya, isn't it? There is an Anjaneya temple in Alvarpet, Srikanth. Alvarpet, Kaveri Hospital, Pakatala, there is an Anjaneya temple. You know what is he called? He's called C. Anjaneya. C. Anjaneya means, who knows that? Who has heard about it before? Correct. Somebody passed CA in your house, is it? Somebody attempted CA, no. Otherwise, you will not know. Otherwise, I will. So what do? They go morning and evening, round and round and round, hoping that yoga will come. What is yoga? That Anjaneya will help you to pass CA. Hyderabad has a Balaji. His specialization is visa. And he will give only US visa. He will not go, if you want to go to Australia visa, you can't go there. I don't know which God you have to go to Australia visa. If you want US visa to be sanctioned, you should go to a Balaji in, not Tirupati, Tirupati Balaji Gudukumatar. You should go to a Balaji who is situated in Hyderabad. And he will grant you visa. So he is called Visa Balaji. You can see American flag and all in the temple if you go there. This is called yoga and kshema. So when all the things worked, and then you know this is not enough, God comes into play. Now the question is, Ananya Sintayando Mam Jena Ejana Paryupasate means God is saying, I will help only those who is thinking about me. Rest of them, I don't care. Ananya Sintayando Mam Ejana Paryupasate Tesham Nitya Viyuktanam Yoga Kshema Maha. I will give yoga and kshema to whom? Who is doing Ananya Chinta. It means rest I don't care. What do you do here? Everybody's yoga and kshema ultimately is taken care of by God only. Remember this. This is the law. Everyone's, whether Ananya Chinta, no Ananya Chinta, in coma, not in coma, it doesn't make any difference. Everybody's yoga and kshema is taken care of only by the reality. And how the yoga and kshema is taken care of by the reality, by God, in the form of law. In the form of law of karma, in the form of a law, everybody's yoga and kshema is taken care of by Lord only, in the form of the law. Then what is the difference between Ananya Chinta and the rest? The people who are having this Ananya Chinta will not worry about the yoga and kshema because they understand the law is there, the protection is there, it will happen. Those who do not have this Ananya Chinta will worry about yoga and kshema, thinking as though they are doing it. That's the only difference. Ananya Chinta people understand, anyway it is taken care of by him only. So why worry? The rest of them believe that they have to take care of it. Therefore, they sit and worry. Here, these people are very wise. What are they wise? They are very wise because they have no concern about their yoga and kshema. They are not worried about their particular yoga. They are not worried about their particular kshema. Why? There is the God that is taking care of. In the intellectual way, we say God means the law. In the devotional way, we say God is taken care. That's all. But it doesn't make any difference whether you say God or the law, because both are one and the. It only describes your orientation. That's all. If you are a predominantly emotional person, you will say God. If you are a predominantly intellectual person, you will say law. But both are one and the same. Ultimately, it means what? You are taken care of. You don't have to worry about how you have to take care of yourself. You are taken care. But sir, I'm not getting what I want. Then how am I taken care of? Correct? That's everybody's problem. I'm not getting what I want. Therefore, how can you say that I am taken care of? How to answer this question? Because the mind will say, I will not. Mind will say, I will not accept anything. So you have to keep telling the mind again and again and again to make the mind accept. So how do you know? How can you say, I am not getting what I want? How can you say yoga and kshema is taken care of? How can you say that? You keep doing what you ought to do. Whatever is needed for your yoga and kshema will come to you. And that will come to you in the form of success sometimes. It will come to you in the form of failure sometimes. Please understand that. That yoga and kshema sometimes will come to you in the form of success. The yoga and kshema will come to you in the form of failure sometimes. But nevertheless, whatever comes to you is for you. Yoga and kshema. Whatever comes means if success comes, it's for your yoga and kshema. If failure comes, that is also for your yoga and kshema. Why? Through success, you learn something. Through failure, again you learn something. Something you know through Rama, you know what to do. Through Ravana, you know what not to do. Isn't it? Therefore, yoga and kshema is provided to everybody universally. This Ananya Chinta people will not worry. Rest keep worrying. That is the only difference. Are you able to follow the difference? This Ananya Chinta people will not worry about their yoga and kshema, nor will they use God for their yoga and kshema. They simply do what they ought to do. And what is it that you ought to do? Chapter 3 to chapter 6. Chapter 3 to chapter 6, whatever you ought to do, they keep simply doing that with the full understanding. What is understanding? Their yoga and kshema is already taken care of. In what form? This is where crux comes. You don't define what is yoga and kshema. Whatever comes to you, you understand it as yoga and kshema. Purida, Prasad. You don't go and define to God what is your yoga and kshema. That you don't do. That is ignorance, because it looks like you know what is good, what is bad for you. Yoga and kshema says what? You don't define what is good, what is bad for you. You don't define what is yoga, what is kshema. Clear? If you ask a person to define what is yoga, what is kshema, what will they say? Kshema means I should not lose a few things at all, sir. What all I should not lose? My hair I should not lose, isn't it? Where it will start? I should not lose my hair. I should not lose my tooth. I should not lose my thing. Now, at one point of time, it should be there. At another point of time, it should not be. Should not be there. Therefore, if you are asked to define yoga and kshema, how you will define yoga and kshema? What is yoga and kshema for you? If God comes and asks you, what will you say? Your yoga and kshema is defined by what? 3 words. Last week, the 3 words is what you think your yoga and kshema is. What are the 3 words? Kama, Raga, Dvesha. A list of 3. What is the list of 3? Craving for what you don't have, attachment to what you have, dvesha, a list of things that should not happen to you. In the list fulfill panni kudunga, sir. The lecture la vanda. Who's asking for lectures? Who's asking for Krishna's blessings, Ananya Chinta? We don't want all the 18 chapters. I have a list. And simply grant that. This Ananya Chinta people are extremely wise. Why are they extremely wise? Because they have the shift in understanding. What is the shift in understanding? They do what they ought to do, and whatever happens to them, whatever comes to them is yoga and kshema. Instead of saying, this is yoga, this is kshema. Such a people, what will happen to them? If a person starts living life like that, what happens? Vedic prayer, Purusha Suktam says, Krishchate Lakshmischa Patnyau. The Vedic prayer says, Krishchate Lakshmischa Patnyau. Meaning, wealth and prosperity will be at your doorsteps waiting to attend on you. It means your yoga and kshema at the material level is taken care of. Also, your spiritual unfoldment is taken care of. And then we finally concluded, these people here are interested only in the spiritual unfoldment. Krishchate Lakshmischa Patnyau and all becomes a byproduct. They are not interested in the byproduct. Incidentally, it comes. All of that, isn't it? Incidentally, it comes. The focus is not on this. Up to this, we studied last week. That's the summary of what we studied last week. Ananya Chintayanto Ma, Echana Paryupasade, Esham Nityabhiyuktana, Yoga Kshemam, Vahamyaham. So, who is a Bhakta? Bhakta will not say, this is yoga for me, this is my yoga and kshema, give this to me. Bhakta will not do that. What the Bhakta does? What the Bhakta does? Doing that which they ought to do, and whatever comes, they understand. That is yoga and kshema. It means what? It means psychologically what is happening. If you have this attitude, psychologically what is happening? Always you will understand that you are in a win-win situation only. Never you are losing anything. That's how these people are so peaceful. Failure comes, they understand. In that failure lies their yoga and kshema. Therefore, there's no such thing called failure at all. It is not that failure comes and then you reconcile with it. These people understand that there is no such thing called failure at all. Why? Because what you call a success lies in yoga and kshema sometimes. What you call as failure, in that lies yoga and kshema sometimes. And we don't understand what brings yoga, in what lies our yoga and kshema. Therefore, what does one do? This Ananya Chinta people, they take in charge of what they can do. They only take charge of what they can do. Rest, they leave it. What do they take charge of? What you need to do, what you ought to do, you can do that. That they will do. This Ananya Chinta people will do that. Those who are not having this Ananya Chinta, what will they do? They will not do what they are supposed to do, and they think something else if they do, they will get yoga and kshema. So what is this verse saying? God's grace is universal. It is not that only this Ananya Chinta people, only yoga and kshema is given, is taken care of. God takes care of yoga and kshema for ultimately all yoga and kshema comes from the God only, comes from the Lord only. Ishvara, they say, God you can say, Bhagavan you can say, Narayana you can say, Muhammad you can say, Christ you can say, doesn't matter. But one thing is very clear. What? A greater power decides what is good and what is bad for you. If you are really wise, what will you do? If you are really wise, what will you do? Instead of you taking charge of what is yoga and kshema, what will you do? You give that job to, you tell God, you do your job, I do my job. What is my job? I will do that which I ought to do, and I keep going. Whatever happens out of, I will do what I ought to do. But what is yoga and kshema? I really don't know. Therefore, yoga and kshema is left to the decision of the higher. Why? Because it knows what is good, what is bad. You can see it from the angle of devotion. Also, you can see it from the angle of knowledge. If you see it from the angle of devotion, you will call it as God. If you see it from the angle of knowledge, you will call it as a law. It's two sides to the same coin. One side of it, you will call it as the Lord, Ishvara, Krishna. The other side of the coin is the law. It doesn't make any difference because both are one and the same. This is Ananya Sintayanto Mam Ejana Paryupasate Esham Nityabhiyuktanam Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. So all that you got to do is what? Keep gaining this knowledge. Are you able to follow? Now we are coming to yoga and kshema for moksha, self-realization. Till now we spoke about yoga and moksha in the sense of, yoga and kshema in the sense of worldly things. Now we will talk about yoga and kshema, how he is going to give yoga and kshema in relation to moksha also. How that happens. You understand, at least now you will understand, at least theoretically, moksha is possible only through what? One word.
Detached.
Moksha is possible only through Ananya Chinta. Abde copy adigirudhu verse. Ram Subramaniam, what you did in school and university was still doing. Copy. At least India this. Correct. Knowledge. Correct. So, moksha is possible only through knowledge. That's it. Knowledge. It is possible only through knowledge. You are very clear. To have knowledge, what you got to do? To gain knowledge, what you got to do? To gain knowledge, you must inquire. Knowledge comes only through inquiry. Class lokand ketne na manapadam da agume thavara knowledge varadu. Memorizing only will happen. Knowledge will not happen. For knowledge to happen, you have to do inquiry. So moksha is possible only through knowledge. And for knowledge to happen, you have to do inquiry. And to inquire, you must have an appropriate pramanam, the means of knowledge. You cannot simply inquire about what you can't do inquiry in the air, no. So knowledge is the way, inquiry, and to inquire, you must have an appropriate pramanam. How are you going to inquire about Brahman? Where are you going to inquire about Brahman? What are you going to do to inquire about Brahman? That's where you study the Shastras. That's where the words. Shastras means the words. Therefore, inquiring about God, Brahman, which is in the form of words. Are you okay till now? Which is in the form of words. When you are doing like this, what are you doing? When you are committed to the study of, carefully follow, when you are committed to the study of Shastra and trying to inquire about the reality, Brahman, God, சாப்பாடு எங்கேன்னு சார் வரும்? bread and butter எங்கேருந்து வரும்? Who will pay the bills? Electricity bill இருக்குது. Who will do all that? Shraddha, yoga and kshema will be taken care of. Yoga and kshema will be taken care of. If when a person wants to gain this knowledge, the very knowledge itself protects. Are you able to follow now? The very knowledge itself becomes a protection. And knowledge in the form of knowledge, you can call it as knowledge or you can call it as God. See, in this classroom, we are not worried about attachment to the words. Only if you are attached to the word, they fight. Oh, knowledge means no, only you should say God. Somebody will come and say you should use the word God. Somebody will come and say you should use the word knowledge only. And they keep fighting, whether God or knowledge. We leave those fight to themselves. Let them keep fighting. We are not doing that debate here, whether it is God or not. All that we are saying is what? If you are in that pursuit, your yoga and kshema will be taken care of. How? The very pursuit with Shraddha will protect you. The very pursuit with Shraddha is going to protect you. Therefore, these people here who's having this Ananya Chinta. Now, what does Ananya Chinta means? Ananya Chinta here means single-pointedly pursuing knowledge. Totally different angle we are coming in to reconcile with all that we have been studying till now. So, Ananya Chinta here means single-pointedly pursuing knowledge. Are you able to follow? When a person is single-pointedly pursuing knowledge, Ananya Chintayando mam ejanaha paryupasate. Whoever pursues this knowledge single-pointedly, the knowledge is giving them the guarantee. What? Tesham nityaviyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. I grant them yoga. The knowledge is saying, I grant them yoga, I grant them kshema. That's why we say knowledge is power. It gives you yoga, it gives you kshema. Therefore, ultimately what it means now? Ultimately what it means? If you do that which you ought to do, you will be taken care of. Single-pointedly you pursue the knowledge also, you will be taken care of. Are you okay? If you feel you are not taken care of means, now see the opposite. Wherever you feel you are not taken care of, it means what? Either you didn't do what you ought to do, or you are not pursuing knowledge single-pointedly. Are you able to follow now? Wherever you feel you are not taken care of, what does it mean? It means you didn't do what you ought to do. Because if you have done what you ought to do, it will, by the law, you will be protected. Shraddha says you will be protected. Therefore, the worry that you are not taken care of will never come. This is the benefit, and this is the very important verse, the geometrical center of Bhagavad Gita. Verse number 22, chapter 9, they say is the central point of Bhagavad Gita. The first word dharma, the last word mama. So mama dharma. Are you able to follow? The first word in the first verse in the first chapter starts with dharma kshetre guru kshetre. The last chapter, last verse, last word. Yatra, okay, I'll just read the last verse. Yatra yogeshwara krishno yatra bhakto dhanurdara tatra sri vijayo bhutir dhruva nitir matir mama. Is the last verse. Correct? That's 9th. I'm talking about 18th. So, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna, Dhanurdara, Arjuna, Chumma Ukandrakra, not weak Arjuna. Yeah. not the fellow as chapter 1 Arjuna, where Dhanurdhara Arjuna means the Arjuna who's ready to, the Arjuna that is ready to fight, guided by Krishna. Last verses. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. Dhanurdhara means Arjuna who's ready to fight. So the Arjuna that is ready to fight, guided by Krishna, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. What will happen there? I am very sure that it will be taken care of. So Dharma Mama, Mama Dharma says the same thing. Here, the geometric center also says the same thing. From first verse to last verse, 700 verses, keep repeating the same thing. But the mind will have the doubt. But the mind will have a doubt. What is the doubt? Will it work, sir? In the age of Kali Yuga, will it work? Because in the age of Kali Yuga, you see everything around, nothing is all right, clear. How does it work? Whether it is Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga or Dwapara Yuga or Kali Yuga or no Yuga, only one thing's work. What? Your yoga and kshema is decided by the higher, which is good for you. Sometimes pleasure is good for you. Sometimes pain is good for you. Sometimes honor is good for you. Sometimes dishonor is good for you. Sometimes success is good for you. Sometimes failure is good for you. That you will never know. That you can never understand. Therefore, whatsoever comes, you take it as prasad. Whatsoever comes, you take it as prasad. Therefore, ananya sintayando vamejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Ananya chinta voda worship panna, this is what you will get. Ananya chinta, worshipping me. The rest of the verses is going to talk about Ananya chinta, worshipping other gods. What happens to them? They don't worship me, but they are worshipping something else. What happens? What happens? What happens to them? First he says, if you worship me, now he is dividing. Rendu goshti pirigiraru. Now there are two groups that he is dividing. What are the two groups? One is my group, he is saying. Ananya Chinta, my group. And then there's another group. What is another group? Those who don't fall under? Yeah. Enga goshti le sarama opponent party. Illaya. BJP le illama Congress le senda enna Shankar. Idella BJP ya? Shankar, yes or no? Yes என்றார். இப்போ இது இல்லாம வேற போனா என்ன ஆகும்? ஆப்போசிட் பார்ட்டிக்கு போனா என்ன ஆகும்? That we will see. Verse number 23 படிங்க. One second. Yes.
You said that if you pursue only knowledge, so my doubt is, pursuing only knowledge means sitting and studying all day long. Is that what it means? That is first question. And second is, when you say pursuing knowledge, in which stage that seeker is, in whom you are talking of pursuing only knowledge?
Yes. When he says pursuing knowledge, the question is, pursuing knowledge, whole day do you sit and study? Pursuing God means, do you sit in the temple the whole day? What is pursuing it whole day means? That's a question. Pursuing knowledge the whole day means, the priority is very clear. The priority is very clear. What is the priority? There is only one priority. What? Moksha is the only priority. For that priority, what all I got to do, I keep only doing that. That's what it means. Are you able to follow? It's not, studying doesn't mean you sit with the book the whole day. You sit with the book the whole day, you'll become a very good professor. Yeah. You'll become another Vasanti. But nothing else will happen. Yeah. Nothing else will happen. You will keep repeating the same thing again and again and again. What will happen? Nothing will happen. It is not, studying doesn't mean you sit and read the whole day. Devotee doesn't mean you keep going round and round the temple and start living in the temple itself the whole day. It doesn't mean that. What it means is you don't have two priorities. Generally, people have two priorities. Actually, they have only one priority. What? Yoga, Kshema, material prosperity, the only priority. Adukku God use pannikirom, avladha. Now, here the priorities are reversed. What is it? You can't serve two masters at the same time. 70th birthday la dhaan nama Shankar sonnar. Correct. Sir, now I understood, sir. Two masters can't be served at the same time. Shankar, sonningla illaya? I'm not lying. He only said. How only understood, sir. Two masters cannot be served at the same time. That's what he's saying here. Ananya Chinta means you don't have two things. There's only one priority. For that, what all needs to be done, you keep doing that. And who tells you that what all you should do? The Shastra tells you what to do. That's why I connected it with the Shastra. The Shastra tells you what all you got to do. The Guru tells you what all you got to do. You simply keep doing that only. Yoga and Kshema is automatically taken care of. Are you able to follow? Otherwise, you say, I have to worry about my moksha. At the same time, I have to worry about my livelihood also, sir. First, I have to take care of my bread and butter livelihood, and then I should go to moksha also. No problems are life. Yeah. Krishna says, what? Don't worry about your bread and butter. You don't have to worry. That will be taken care of. That will be taken care of. By whom? By whom it will be taken? Who's giving you the assurance it will take care of? The Shastra is giving that assurance that it will take care of. God is giving the assurance that I will take care of. But the mind says, I know you will take care, but certain indications kudungola. If you give me some indications, I know you are going to take care of. And what is the indications that you will seek? God says, I will take care. Mind will come up with the doubt. Okay, I know you will take care, but some indicators at least. So one or two things, if you show, I can trust you now. Simply, how can I trust you? I want a proof to trust you. Proof ketale trust kadayadunu artham. Proof ketale trust kadayadu. Trust irundha proof e vanda. Both doesn't go together. If you prove me, then I will trust you. You don't know what you are. You don't know what you are talking. So anyway, nobody knows what they are talking. Doesn't make any difference. So the mind will ask for a proof. What is the proof? If one or two indicators come, then I will trust. According to you, what should be the indicator? According to you, what should be the indicator? And the moon list to I. If all the three lists that you have is taken care of, you will say, now I will take care. Now I will take care. Are you able to follow? Sita saw the golden deer. Sita saw the golden deer and called Rama and said, I want that golden deer. When you are sitting with Rama, why do you want a golden deer in addition? Yeah, Rama itself is enough. No. Correct? Look at Sita. She's sitting with Rama. But how long to keep sitting with Rama? Bore at the forest. Yeah. So what do that golden deer gave her some variety. How long to sit with Rama? Rama started becoming very boring at some stage. Anyway, Rama is boring by himself. At least Krishna gives some entertainment. At least he will flute, he will dance, some jokes he will crack. Yeah, something he will do to keep you entertained. Rama doesn't do any of that. He is so serious all the time. Only dharma. Dharma, you feel like saying enough of you, Rama, and enough of your Dharma. So you go. So Sita saw the golden. Sita wanted golden deer. Correct? Huh? You know the story, no? Sita wanted that golden deer. Rama said, you understand there is no such thing called golden deer, no? How can there be a golden deer? If there is a deer made of gold, it will be a lifeless metal thing. Correct? Simple common sense. If you have a deer, நம்ம கோலு பொம்மை மாதிரி இருக்கும். Okay, கோலு பொம்மைலாம் சொல்லக்கூடாது because nobody will do this golu and all nowadays. It should be a showcase piece only, isn't it? It will be a showcase piece. How can you have a real golden deer that is running around? Sita said, no, I want it. I want it. Why? Why do you want it? Why? I like it. Full stop. Why? What is that? The question itself is so illogical, sir. Why will you ask, why do I like it? I just like it. Why don't you, why you dislike? What question is this? Is there a reason to like something? Is there a reason to dislike something? You correct? You follow what I'm saying? See, when a boy meets a girl and the girl meets a boy and they fall in love with each other, one question you should not ask is why. Why you should not ask that question? Because they themselves don't know why. Because the moment they know, it will stop. Yeah. Why you like this girl? And the boy has to give some 10 reasons. And you know all the 10 reasons are not the reasons. They say, no, she's a very, very affectionate girl. No, I will bring you 10 other affectionate girls. Abdi kadayadu, sir. Idu vera. So, third question, why? That fellow will get irritated and say, don't ask why and all. I just like. Correct? Huh? Sita said, golden deer. And who has to chase that golden deer now? Rama has to chase. She will like golden deer. And who has to chase? You will like something. And who has to provide for that? You follow? If you like golden deer, you chase. No. I like golden deer. Rama, you have to go and bring. Rama said, I will go and bring. Lakshmana, I'm keeping here. Just stay quiet. Till I come back, just stay quiet. Rest of the story, you know. And then Ravana came, abduction happened, and there are so many versions of how Ravana abducted Sita. Yeah. Depending on the generational change, Ravana also changed. The abduction methods also changed. One thing didn't change. What Ravana abducted Sita didn't change. Methodology of abduction changed. Valmiki methodology of abduction is what? Dragged her by the hair. Ravana. That's how abduction happened in Valmiki. But then Sita became a goddess 1,000 years, 1,500 years later. How can you drag the goddess by the hair? Yeah. You can't do that. Land he took. Another abduction method. Srikanth. நான் சொல்ல இதெல்லாம் கதையில இருக்குது ஸ்ரீகாந்த். Another 1,500 years later, impossible to conceive that somebody can come and cast an evil eye on the goddess. Therefore, what happened? God being all knower, God already knew. Sita already knew that Rama will come and abduct. Therefore, what she did? Fireless she went in. She entered the fire. And Maya Sita came out. So Ravana abducted only. Ravana Sitave paakla. Image paathu dukin better. He only abducted the picture of Sita. And to abduct the picture of Sita, punishment and a capital punishment. What kind of stories all this is? We are not discussing this. எதுக்கு இவ்வளவு ஸ்டோரி சொன்னோம் அப்படின்னா 10 months, she was held captive by Ravana, hoping that Rama will come, Rama will come, Rama will come. No sign of Rama, no sign of Rama coming. Indications will come. When indication will come, we are giving the story. Symbolic. Vibhishana's daughter was the caretaker of Sita. Along with so many people, Vibhishana's daughter also was there as the caretaker. So desperate that Rama is not going to come. She was about to commit suicide. Hanuman was sitting in the tree and watching that scene. That day Hanuman landed there, sitting on the tree and watching. So when all the caretakers went for a tea break, maybe they went for the breakfast, and breakfast they all went. Hanuman jumped in front of Sita and said, Rama sent me. What did Sita say? What did Sita say? You know? Maybe you are Ravana, because this place is full of magic. I really don't know what is real, what is not real. Maybe Ravana has created another magic and sent you by saying you are Rama's person. How do you know that you are Rama's person? How do you know that you are Rama's person? Indication, proof. What did Hanuman give? Hanuman gave the ring. The ring is the indication. Are you able to follow? In the Plato's cave metaphor, when the boy is completely lost in darkness. In the Plato's cave metaphor, when the boy is completely lost in darkness, he can neither go back nor he cannot go back because the bridges are burned. No way that person can go back. No way the boy can go back. Suddenly he saw something sparkling at a distance. Indications come. Indications come. But you should not say this should be the indicator and you should not put a condition. When you put a condition that this is the indicator, that will not come. Are you able to follow? So for a person who is seeking this knowledge, pursuing with Ananya Chinta, and you don't have a list of indicators, you will be alert to the real indicator. And the real indicator will give you the conviction to pursue further. Are you able to follow? Therefore, Ananya Chintayando Mam Yajana Patyupasade Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yoga Kshemam. Some of these verses you can go on and on and Is it okay?
And the seeker it level starts yogis.
It doesn't wherever it is. The goal is fixed. What is the goal? Moksha is the goal. Transformation is the goal. Okay? Next verse padingo. In verse padingo? On 23 padingo.
Yepyanya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayan vitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajantya vidhi purvakam yepyanya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayan vitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajantya vidhi purvakam.
Even those devotees who endowed with Shraddha, faith, worship other gods, they also worship me alone. O Kaunteya, though contrary to traditional practice. Even those devotees who endowed with Shraddha, faith, worship other gods, they also worship me alone, O Kaunteya, though contrary to traditional practice. Those who worship other gods. Now, what is this other gods now? Each and everything that you are seeking is a devata, a god. In Vedantic language, we talk about both God in singular and gods in plural. Both we keep talking. So, God in singular, God, gods in plural. Whenever we talk about gods in plural, what does it imply? You have other priorities. Knowledge is your priority, Saraswati. Wealth is your priority, Lakshmi. Power is your priority. Sir, power, sir. Secretary or power in the you can do it. So if you are seeking power, worship Kali, Parvati. It means each and everything that you are seeking is indicated as gods. It means your priorities are many and it will be shifting from one to the other. At one point of time, you will think wealth is enough. And then you realize wealth alone is not enough. Knowledge is necessary. After a while, you will understand wealth and knowledge alone is a power, sir. That person sitting there, just because he has power, he is doing it. Therefore, you need. So at one point of time, you think wealth. At another point of time, you think knowledge. At another point of time, you think you keep seeking these various goals. These various goals are mundane and limited. These various goals are mundane and limited. But how do they do it? How do they do it? Though it is mundane, they do it with full Shraddha. That's why they are getting it. A rich person has become rich because he had so much of Shraddha in wealth, that person gets wealth. And what is Shraddha means? Unswerving, dedicated pursuit. Unswerving, dedicated pursuit till you get it is called Shraddha. Here he says what? Whatever the mind is going, whatever the desires are, when you try to fulfill the desire, you pursue that desire with Shraddha, you get it. Are you okay till now? You get it. That's how all these people in the world get it. He introduces a word, avidhi purvakam, though contrary to traditional practice. Vidhi means law. Avidhi means contrary to the law. Tradition means law. See, whenever in Vedanta we use the word tradition, don't understand tradition means sari, dhoti. That is not tradition. Tradition here means law. Avidhi purvakam. Though they get it, it is contrary to the law. Why it is contrary to the law? The law says, yoga and kshema you will get only if you do this. Anything else you pursue with dedication, Shraddha, you will get it. But what you will not get? Yoga and kshema you will not get. If you dedicatedly pursue wealth, you will get wealth. But what you will not get? Yoga and kshema you will not get. How do you know that yoga and kshema you will not get? Because after getting it, they realize they are exactly in the same point. Nothing has changed and they move on to chasing something else. Are you able to follow? They attain wealth and then they realize what? Having wealth is no fun. Start a charity fund and start doing charity. Are you able to follow? Why avidhi purvakam? Avidhi purvakam means not in the prescribed manner as said in the Shastras. And what does Shastra say? When you seek knowledge, what are you actually seeking? Are you seeking knowledge, or through knowledge you are seeking something else? When you are seeking wealth, are you seeking wealth, or through wealth you are seeking something else? Always what do we do? When we are seeking something, we are not seeking that. That is vidhi. Avidhi purvakam makes you to believe you are only seeking that. Vidhi comes and says you are not seeking that. What are you seeking? Through that you are seeking something else. Through that you are seeking something else. What is that something else that you are seeking? Inquire and find out. Inquire and find out and seek that. Inquire and find out and seek that. If you do not do this inquiry, and if you think you already know what you are doing is the right thing, you will get it. But remember, it is avidhi purvakam. It is contrary to the law. Are you okay till now? Yoga and kshema is entirely dependent upon adherence to the law. Vidhi purvakam padi pannar. Whatever is done according to the law, yoga and kshema will come. You do something contrary to the law, you will get it. You will get the desired object, you will get. But what you will not get? Law comes and tells you that wealth you will get, but that wealth will not give you kshema. The feeling of that you are taken care of will not come. Are you able to follow? Wealth will be there, but you know that you are not taken care of. Family will be there, but you will feel that you are not taken care of. Name and fame and power will be there, but you still feel that you are not. That feeling of kshema, that feeling of, yes, I am what we call as peace, security, happiness, feeling safe, and kshema means what? You feel safe. You feel safe. You feel so secure. Why? Because you are doing everything according to the law. Since you are doing everything according to the law takes care. Avidhi purvakam. Avidhi purvakam means they do that which is not according to the vidhi. But how they do it? They do it with Shraddha. That's why people come and say, sir, dedicatedly I did, sir, I got it. But nothing has come out of it. I feel cheated. You feel cheated. Why you feel cheated? Because the vidhi is not followed. What is vidhi? Means and the end. The means and the end. Means in plural, end in singular. You don't say means and ends. Rendum plural கிடையாது. Means is in plural, end is in singular. Are you able to follow? Means and end. What is other gods now? What is other gods now? the means itself has become an end. The means itself has become the end to them. And how do they do it? They do it with Shraddha. O Kaunteya, Avidhi Purvakam. It is not according to the Vidhi. The correctadam panninga, but sattapadi illa avladha. You did it right. You did it with dedication only. But it is contrary to the law. Are you okay till now? It means what? Before you start anything, you need to know the law. You simply don't, but people start everything based on their impulses, based on their likes and dislikes, and then somewhere down the line only they will come to realize that there is a thing called law. At that point of time, the entire thinking will be how to bend the law according to how to bend the law according to what I have already doing. Instead of saying, I will not bend the law, I will bend. You follow? Vivekananda puts it very beautifully. There are all human beings are of two types only, he said. And such a beautiful distinction he made. All human beings are only two types, he says. What are the two types? One who lifts themselves up for the sake of the ideal. Others bring the ideal down. You will follow? He says there are two types of all human beings are only two categories. One who lifts themselves up for the sake of the goal. Others, what do? They bring the goal itself down. Other gods here refers to what? Other gods here refers to bringing the goal down. And when you are bringing it down, it is Avidhi Purvakam. When you are bringing it down, it is Avidhi Purvakam. Practices done under the guidance of the Shastra is Vidhi Purvakam. Practices not done according to the Shastra is Avidhi Purvakam. And what the Shastra say? What does Shastra say? That which ought to Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam Karma Jahyo Hya Karmanaha. Niyatam Karma. Karma Kuru first. What is the Shastra saying? Karma Kuru. Karma Kuru na enna artham? Adala endringo. Yeah, first just get up first. Yeah. Karma Kuru. Do something. Instead of Sharira Yatra Pichate. Not doing something is better than not doing anything. Karma Kuru. And then what kind of karma? Niyatam karma. Niyatam karma means Nitya Naimittika. You should not ask Vijay Rangan. In the portion of Epadupel, you should not ask. Clear? Why? Because all this is we have already studied in 4 chapters. The Nitya karma, the Naimittika karma, all that has been. So that is the Vidhi. So what does the Vidhi say? Do action. And what kind of action you got to do? That which ought to be done. When it says that which ought to be done, what is implied in that? Whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. What does the Vidhi say? The Vedanta treatise, there is a beautiful sentence. The ability to adapt action to obligation. That's all. In Vedanta treatise. The ability to adopt action to obligation. There is this chapter, exigency of action. Anshu, correct? Anshu, correct? No? Exigency of action. In that exigency of action, there is a topic called renunciation in action. In that renunciation in action, there is a beautiful statement. Law it is. The ability to adopt action to obligation. That is vidhi. Obligation means whether you like it or not. Yeah. Today, I don't feel like doing. Today, I feel like doing. Do extra. Today, I don't feel like doing. Don't do. No. Niyatam karma. Vidhi says, do your niyatam karma, whether you like it or not. If you keep doing your niyatam karma, that is ananya chinta. According to the vidhi, yoga, kshema, everything will be taken care of. Are you able to follow? Here, what is he saying? Avidhi purvakam. Avidhi purvakam means actions are driven based on kama, raga, dvesha. No niyatam karma at all isn't there. All actions are driven by the concept of likes and dislikes. Kama, raga, dvesha. No concept of, no idea of niyatam karma at all. So vidhi purvakam means what? Whatsoever you do, you got to make sure that it has a sanction of the law. The first question that you have to ask is what before you do anything? Is it legally correct? He said. Before you do anything, just check it out, whether it is permissible or not. Legally means what? Whether it is permissible by the law. If it is not permissible by the law, what you should do? How much ever you like it, you should not do. If the law says this is what you ought to do, whether you like it or not, you have to do. Clear? Income tax returns must be filed. Yeah. Vidhi purvakam. It is saying very clearly, income tax returns has to be filed. Who are they to tax me? It is my money, no? Correct? Logic is correct. And what the law will say? Law protects you as long as you obey the law. If you violate the law, the same law protects you by punishing you. Correct? The same law protects you by punishing you by saying, at least in the future, are able to follow? That is vidhi purvakam. In verse number 23, what is he talking about? Those devotees who endowed with Shraddha worship other gods, though it is avidhi purvakam, the last beautiful, they also worship me alone. Wherever you go, whatsoever you are seeking, ultimately you have to come back to me only. That's what he said. They worship me alone. You may go astray. How long can you go? Someday you will. Therefore, even if you are worshipping other gods, you are worshipping me only means what? What you think as the end will convert into a means, and that means will be towards. Otherwise, most of the people, how they interpret this verse, what Krishna is saying very clearly, other gods means if you worship Shiva, Christ, Allah, nothing will happen to you. If you should worship me alone. Even if you are worshipping them, they are worshipping me only. Why? Because Allah Krishna. Devotee of Shiva will interpret it as Shiva only. The devotee of Christ will interpret it as Christ only. That's not what he's saying. He's not talking about worshipping me here. He's not worshipping the form. Worshipping here refers to what? They worship me alone. Why? Through the other gods, what are you seeking? Are you able to understand now? Through the other gods, what are you seeking? When you want wealth, what do you want? You don't want wealth, you want me. That is why having wealth, you will not be satisfied. Why? Because you didn't get me. Why? Because you wanted wealth you didn't want. Out of ignorance, you thought getting wealth is getting me. Are you able to follow? Out of ignorance, you thought getting wealth is getting me. Avidhi purvakam it is. You will get wealth, but you will not rest content till you come to me. They worship me alone. They worship me alone means whatsoever you are worshipping, in and through all that, you will not rest content till you come to me. Therefore, Vidhi Purvakam says, straight away, worship me. Yeah. They say, no, you can directly touch your nose like this, or you can, yeah, isn't it? Avidhi Purvakam means you will go round and come and touch. Vidhi Purvakam says, straight away, you do this and be done with it. Anya Devataha. Anya Devataha means other gods. What does other gods means? When right through you are saying there is only one God. But they do it with such Shraddha. They do it with such a Shraddha. Krishna says, the law says, because of that Shraddha, they will get that. Because of that Shraddha, they are putting into making wealth, they will get wealth. Because that Shraddha will give the result. I will make sure that Shraddha will get them the result. But because it is contrary to Vidhi Purva, because it is contrary to the Vidhi, to the law, what they will not get? Yoga and Kshema, they will not get. Me, they will not get. Why? Because of ignorance, they thought getting wealth is getting me. Getting knowledge is getting me. Getting power is getting me. Isn't it? Wealth na Lakshmi. Knowledge na Saraswati. You want to create something, Brahma, sustainer, Vishnu. Yeah. யாரையாவது அழிக்கணும்னா விஷ்ணு கிட்ட போகிறது. யாரையாவது அழிக்கணும்னா யார்கிட்ட போகணும்? சிவாட்ட போகணும். Because he is the destroyer. யாராவது காப்பாற்றணும்னா விஷ்ணு கிட்ட போகணும். Because he is the sustainer. Yeah. For each and everything we have a God. Are you able to follow? The beauty is this. The beauty is this. By planting God, the idea of God is driven. One day you will come to me directly. So even when you are pursuing anything, what is the beauty? The beauty is the idea of God is driven, reinforced. Idea of God reinforced means what? You are taken care of. You are taken care of. Sun is seen as sun god. Isn't it? S-U-N. Sun is seen as sun god. We also know that there is no God there driving 7 chariot and going from east to west and all. We also know that. Yeah, it's not that, oh, these people are so backward, they don't know why, they are simply calling it as God. There somebody is driving the horse, and that horse, how can it stand the heat of the sun? Because they don't know the temperature in the sun. Oh, இதெல்லாம் science. இதெல்லாம் அஜ்ஞானம், it is called. Why it is called அஜ்ஞானம்? Kutarka it is called. Why? Because they also know that it is a ball of fire only. But the moment it is called as God, when you plant God everywhere, remember, nothing outside changes. They will still continue to remain the same. Something new changes. That knowledge you should have. That's why we plant God everywhere God is planted. Why? Because the sun will continue to remain the sun, water will continue to remain the water, whether it is Amazon or Ganges or Brahmaputra or Kaveri or Palar or Kuvam. Kuvam sollakudadu in the list. Correct? That remains the same only. That doesn't change. We also know that. These people, when I say we, means these great masters also know that. But when they planted God everywhere, something new changes. What is that something new changes? You know that you are taken care of, and when you know that you are taken care of, you start following the vidhi. What is following the vidhi? You will say, thank you. Starting point of vidhi is to say, thank you. That is why in verse number 8, chapter 3, like he starts by saying, Sthena eva saha. These people are, you are a thief, Arjuna. You take sunlight from sun and don't say thank you. You are a thief. Say thank you. When you say thank you, nothing is going to change in the sun. But when you say thank you, something changes in you. Are you able to understand the difference? That's why he says, those you take it and you don't say thank you. Similarly, everything is provided for you for your betterment. All that you got to do is what? Recognize that and say thank you. In order to make you recognize that and say thank you, they planted gods everywhere. Vidhi Purvakam it is. It is not contrary to Vedanta. Because when we say one God, one God, one God, suddenly why other gods in plural? Able to follow? Everything is provided for you. How do you understand this? The elements and everything was created first and then you came. It's not that first you came into existence and then by trial and error, what is good for you, God created. Correct? Do you understand this? Bhakti. That's what Ananya Chinta is all about. All that is beneficial for you was created first and then only you came. It's not by trial and error, you came first and then சரி கொஞ்ச நாள் இதை ட்ரை பண்ணும், இது வரல, change it to something else. Okay. இந்த temperature ஒத்துக்கல, change it to some other temperature. No. Vidhi Purvakam. Correct? When human beings create, இப்படிதான் create பண்ணும். ஒரு creation ஒழுங்கா இருக்காது. When human beings create, எல்லா creationும் flaw தான் அதுல. தோஷா தான் இருக்கும் அதுல. Why? Because fundamentally தோஷா தானே. Vidhi is not that. Vidhi is not that. Isn't it? From that day, when science didn't develop, even when nobody knew there is a thing called womb, the womb was perfect. Just because we discovered the scan and we knew all that, did it become perfect now only? This is Vidhi Purvaka. Are you able to follow? It means what? This conviction is what is yoga and Kshem. Are you able to follow now? It's not a superstitious, it's not a blind faith, it's not a superstitious faith. What is needed for you was created first and then everything was given to you on a platter. And when everything is given to you on a platter, instead of saying thank you, what will you say? Instead of saying thank you, what will you say? Instead of saying thank you, what will you say? அது சரியில்லை, இது சரியில்லை, அவர் சரியில்லை, இவர் சரியில்லை, பாலிடிக்ஸ் சரியில்லை, கவர்மெண்ட் சரியில்லை, காங்கிரஸ் சரியில்லை, பிஜேபி சரியில்லை, அமெரிக்கா சரியில்லை, ஆப்பிரிக்கா சரியில்லை, ஒன்னும் சரியில்லை except you. Correct? Avidhi Purvakam, this is how, even to have real bhakti, you need to have so much of knowledge. And people believe bhakti means அப்படியே போய் டான்ஸ் ஆடினா பக்தின்னு நினைச்சிட்டாங்க, isn't it? பஜன்ல போய் டான்ஸ் ஆடினா பக்தி வந்துருமா? மைக்கேல் ஜாக்சன்ல ஒரு டான்ஸ் ஆடலாம், பஜன்ல ஒரு டான்ஸ் ஆடலாம். Both are entertainment only. No difference. Even for bhakti, you need to have so much of knowledge. That is why in the previous verse, Ananya Chinta, we connected it to knowledge, because this knowledge alone can give you the real, this knowledge alone can give you the real bhakti. What is real bhakti? Vidhi Purvakam. Everything is given. So gods indicate what? So much is given to you. Everything is given to you. But sir, my nose is not right. That nose is right. No. My eyes are not good. That eyes are good. No. My legs are not good. That legs are good. No. Ashtavakra, if we start saying all that, what would have happened? Are you able to follow? No. What is given is the best for you. This is bhakti. Avidhi Purvakam means not recognizing this. They think other gods. And even when you go there, they want you to come back to this. Even by mistake, if you take the wrong route, that is the compassion. Even by mistake, if you take the wrong route, over mildly they have kept a stone. What? Go back, go back, go back. That is gods. Even if you go astray, they planted gods, indicating what? Go back, go back, go back. Even those devotees endowed with Shraddha worship other gods. They also worship me alone, O Kaunteya, though contrary to traditional practice. Beautiful verses. With this, we conclude for today. There are some clarifications which we will take up in the next session. We'll take up those clarifications in the next session. Then we'll move on to the verses.